take a seat, please. We are getting ready to start the inaugural concept stage, fast pitch part of the Clean Energy Challenge. By way of reminder, or by way of new education, this format is going to be a 3-minute fast pitch. No slides. The concepts are allowed to have a summary slide, but there'll be 5 minutes of Q&A. Also, by way of reminder, there are no questions allowed from other folks other than the judges. This is strictly a Q&A driven by the judges. It is timed, and the finalists will be, the Q&A will stop on time, as well as the actual presentations. So with that, we'll get started. And our first finalist is SunPhocus, Jake Eady.
Hi, my name is Jake Eady with SunPhocus Technologies, and I'm here to talk to you about HoloSun, our patented technology for the building integrated photovoltaic market, or BIPV for short. The basic idea behind BIPV is that instead of bolting solar panels onto the roof of a building, you start to integrate those solar technologies directly into the building products themselves, primarily roofing products and windows and other glass facades. There's a couple of benefits that come from that approach. First, you can avoid some of the expensive installation labor, the framing and racking materials that go into putting panels on the roof, and you can also avoid penetrations into the roof that can cause leaking and problems with the roof warranty. Our product specifically is this transparent film that you see here at the top of this mocked up panel. And as light comes through the window, it hits our film, and our film captures approximately 30% of the light, and channels it through the pane of glass so that it can get collected by a solar panel attached to the glass somewhere else in the window. The benefits, the economic benefits of this approach is that our film itself is really inexpensive. It costs about 5% of what PV panels cost. And so if you've got a 1-to-1 ratio of our film to PV panels on a window, you'll see a 30% increase in electricity generation from the channeling of that energy, with only a 5% increase in the cost. Secondarily, because our film is transparent, you can start to collect energy from portions of the building where you need to have transparency. So you can increase the amount of energy collected. And third, we can build our film to do well capturing light from shallow angles, so you can generate energy during morning hours and late afternoon hours better than you normally could. The market for BIPV technologies is large, and it's actually somewhat small now, but it's growing quickly. It's expected to be $8.2 billion by 2015. Now that number includes a lot of roofing products, and so we did our own analysis looking at the global glass market, and we think that ultimately our total available market is something like $2.8 billion. The strategy to capture that market, if you look at the supply chain to get glass into buildings, you have a flat glass manufacturer sells glass to a fabricator. That person puts together the window, sells it into a contractor, who then adheres to an architect's specifications. We have 2 targets there: the fabricator for strategic partnerships. Those are the folks that actually would be applying our film and putting the PV onto the window. And then the architects is really the sales target. If our technology is not included in the specifications and the drawings for the building, we have very little chance of ever selling in ultimately. So that's the overview, and I'd be happy to take your questions. Yes?
Does your technology work with SIGs as well as silicon? Does it work with multiple?
Yeah, because all we're doing is moving light. Any PV technology that is able to take light and turn that into energy is completely compatible. And that's one of the things that our founder and CEO, Saeed Al-Raj, during his work at IIT as a professor, he really focused a lot on on expressing that message and the fact that you can do that. Yes?
Are there specific wavelengths that your material is better at channeling versus others?
So you can design, so the actual holograms are what go on the film, and that's what bends the light. And so you can target the structure of the hologram to capture the right wavelengths, the kind that are better at generating energy and that don't cause heating of the panel. So we can actually target the specific wavelengths we like. Yes?
Can you speak just briefly to T-vis and optical clarity of your film, in particular when I move in front of the window?
Yeah, so we don't have those figures yet. We're still developing the design of our actual holograms, and so what we're looking for right now is the funding to get to a prototype. But we think about 70% of light is going to get through, and 30% will get channeled.
And when I look through the clear portion of it and I would move, would I see fringe patterns?
Yeah, what you'll see is a little bit of this this kind of iridescent look.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yes.
What's the incremental price on a per square foot basis, both your film and the solar cells will add? And I'm thinking IGUs are typically $75 a foot in square foot installed.
Yeah, so our film, we're targeting a price of about $50 a square meter, so about $5 a square foot. Now the actual films that we're going to put our holograms on are typically sell for about 1 penny per square meter. So that target price of $50 has a huge amount of room for bringing it down. So that's a really conservative number. PV panels themselves are $500 to $800 a square meter, so $50 to $80 a square foot.
So given how slowly BIPV is moving as a market right now, have you considered rooftop applications for the technology?
Skylights are a good application. Our technology has to work in conjunction with glass. So it's the glass that actually channels the light. So as long as there's glass involved, we're interested. And so on a roof application, that's really skylights.
Are there competing holographic films on the market? And if so, can you talk about the unique characteristics of yours?
No, they're not. So the patent that we have a license to, IIT owns the patent, and it covers using holograms for energy generation. So there are no competing holographic technologies.
Was there was a company called Prism Solar.
Yeah, Prism Solar has a license to the non-BIPV portion of that very same set of patents. So that's the same technology, and the market's been split in half. We have BIPV, they have the other half. They have anything that's going on the roof or in the ground. Yeah. Yes?
Looking at this diagram, is it only for new construction, or it seems like it would be very difficult to install this whole system on an existing building?
Yeah, so the economics work best for new construction. For renovation, if you're completely taking out the windows, then it is a possibility, and then you still have to get some of the wiring and the inverters into the building. So the more extreme the renovation is, the more we're well suited to it. But initially, it's a new construction market that we'd be tackling. Yes?
If you're going on the glass, how would this compare to like an anti-reflective coating kind of economics for the same efficiency gain?
So the material cost would be similar. And I'm not really familiar with the economics specifically of the energy savings from that kind of material. Yes?
What are the key assumptions behind the 6-year payback period?
So there's a lot of assumptions that go into that number. Latitude, I used, in that example, I used New Jersey or Chicago as the latitude. The rack price, and I was using 50 cents a kilowatt hour of government subsidy there. I was using the south-facing wall only. I was assuming $4 a watt as the general price for a PV panel. And those are probably the major ones. 20 seconds.
How long is that contract on the IP?
We've got another 7 years on that path.
What's the plan to hold your position after the 7 years?
So simply being ahead of the market for the most part. Yeah, having a foothold and having those partnerships and supply chain.
Right, time is up.